It's been 10 months since Triple H took over the creative reins of WWE, and let's be honest, it's been very good. On a scale of Vince McMahon to 10, I'd put it about a 7. We've seen some fantastic stories. I don't know if you've seen the one with Sami Zayn, but ooh, it's a doozy. We've also seen some favourites return to the company, adding some much needed depth to the Raw and SmackDown rosters. Some wrestlers have thrived under Hunter's regime, some have definitely not, and it's sad. For some of these, it's sad, 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 with an extra dose of sadness on top. So let's look at them, shall we? These are 10 wrestlers that aren't benefiting from Triple H. Number 10, Baron Corbin. Oh Corbin. Oh poor Baron. King, loser, Raw GM Corbin. You had such promise in 2016. You know, when he debuted on the main roster, only winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at Wrestle Bloody Mania. The world was your oyster. You had the chance to become world champion after winning the Money in the Bank. You lost it. Now I know it's not really Mr. Baron's fault, and it's the fault of the dastardly Vince McMahon himself, but still, the guy hasn't really made use of any of the gimmicks he's been given. King Corbin was more annoying than anything. Raw GM Corbin? Again, he was just annoying. Loser Corbin, a great piece of work that could have probably made him into a top-tier babyface. Instead, we got him telling the worst excuse of dad jokes known to man. Also, Madcap Moss was there. The only thing Baron Corbin seems to have gathered since his debut is an insane amount of go-away heat, and as we all know, go-away heat is bad. But yes, I'll admit, he's just doing his job. It's a stupid creative and amount of TV time he was getting. But Triple H, he could save him, right? Right? In October of 2022, we were introduced to the modern-day wrestling god, Baron Corbin, by his new manager, John Bradshaw Layfield. This is what Triple H and his creative could come up with, and in theory, it should work. JBL was a great heel back in the day during his feud with Eddie Guerrero and his WWE Championship run. He could give Corbin the best advice and be the mouthpiece to turn the crowd around. Well, it's now March of 2023, and JBL ditched Corbin last month after calling him a turd. Reports coming out was that Triple H felt it wasn't working. Yep, we could have told you that, Paul. It seems like no matter what happens with Corbin, it's never going to work. It may soon be a good idea to get to the next person. Number 9, Johnny Gargano. Now I hate this one. I really hate having to put good old Johnny Wrestling on this list, but let's be real, he hasn't had exactly the best of returns. Whether it has been a consistent partnership with Dexter Lumis, who also deserved a place on this list but I decided to throw his name in here, or the fact he was unfortunately out with injury for a bit, it's not really felt like the Johnny Gargano we had in NXT. He feels like a mid-carder lost in the shuffle. He did, however, get a good showing in the US Championship Elimination Chamber, hitting that Hurricane Rana off the top of the pod and looking like he could have died. Johnny, what the hell are you doing? But everyone else also looked better than they did coming out of the match. It doesn't mean Gargano is going to be in a big feud to elevate himself anytime soon. The best we can do is hope that Ciampa gets back as quickly as he possibly can. Give us some DIY love, Paul. Number 8, Ronda Rousey. My, how the mighty have fallen. At one point we were so hyped for the baddest woman of the planet to step foot into a WWE ring, and let's be honest, she didn't disappoint at all. The debut match at WrestleMania 34 was arguably the best bout on the card, and we couldn't stop talking about how great Ronda was. Then that promo happened, and it was all downhill from here. After returning from having a baby at the 2022 Royal Rumble, things never clicked. Poor matches and promos, and being chucked into the title picture about as many times as Charlotte Flair. Things didn't seem to be going in the baddest woman on the planet's way. Hunter really hasn't brought anything new to the table either. There seems to be a lot of confusion between whether she's a face or a heel, and again the run has been flooded with poor matches. Do I need to mention the Shotzi match? Maybe the new partnership with Shayna Baszler leads to some good creative decisions from the King of Kings. There seems to be a long crawl to make Ronda the face of the division again. Number 7, Hit Row. Hit Row, Hit Row, Hit Row. They used to be great if you didn't know. Top Dollar hit that botch, so laughs Michael Cole. Hit Row, yeah. All Grammy-nominated spoofs aside, Hit Row's return was one of the most welcomed by fans. Their favourite stable that was cruelly released not long after their debut on the main roster was back and going to be back in full force. Oh wait, where's Swerve? Wait, he's not free? What do you mean he's a tag team champion somewhere else? Yes, Triple H brought the band back together without their frontman, which resulted in a complete lack of charisma and, to be honest, talent. To give credit, they really tried with Top Dollar taking a leading role and Ashante and B-Fab just being there, but it all went downhill. You could almost say that Hit Row had been botched. Ever since Top Hound failed his suicide dive, they have been crucified by Michael Cole on commentary and have shown how green they still are in the ring to fans. With reports getting released that Triple H isn't happy with some of the returns, you can't help but feel Hit Row are one of the names on the list. They have been given opportunities, but Ashante, Top Yen, and B-Fab don't seem to have taken any of them. Number 6, Tegan Nox. Where is Tegan? Has anyone really seen Tegan Nox since her return in December of 2022? Sure, she had a little run in the Rumble this year, but what has she really done? She helped Liv for a little bit on her return to the company against Damage Control, and then had a little spat with Xia Li. Just like many that have returned since Hunter's reign started, they've returned to a fanfare and then got lost in the shuffle, and it is a shame. Good old Nixon Newell was a fan favourite in NXT, even challenging for the women's title at one point. Before her release, she was tagging with Shotzi and still deserves Women's Tag Team Championship match after beating the champs multiple times. Hopefully we see Tegan pushed as a star in the coming months to add more names to that group of women who dominate the shows. She deserves it. She can definitely hold her own up there with the big names. We've seen it before in NXT and the UK indie scene. Come on, Triple H, let the shiniest wizard shine bright. Number 5, Bronson Reed. You all remember Bronson Reed, right? You know, the guy who beat Okada. He came back, and at this point there isn't the fanfare that there was in NXT, which I find quite shocking, as he beat Kazuchika Okada. I remember the days where we all saw big things for the former Jonah and were really excited to see him hit the main roster, especially around his North American Championship run. Now he's there, he is proving that he's a force in the ring, but it's just not seemingly connecting with the crowd. He had a great performance in the Elimination Chamber, but a hot Montreal crowd didn't seem too hot on him. It truly is a shame, because loads of us, including Triple H, see the talent that is there. If Hunter can give him a great story with run of dominant wins, maybe he could reach the heights as he once did when he beat Okada. Remember that WWE Universe? When this guy
beat Okada.
No? Oh. Okay. Number 4, Lacey Evans. What a weird journey it's been for Lacey Evans. She was coming to WWE for nearly as long as Veer was, just walking down the ramp to distract matches. Then she was thrown in that weird Baron Corbin partnership against Becky Lynch. Following that was the weird Ric Flair love arc that wasn't a love arc, but she had Ric Flair's baby in... Wait, that wasn't Ric Flair's baby? Oh, she had one with her husband? Right. Since Lacey returned from childbirth, she's seen multiple gimmick changes, and it's all becoming confusing where it stands in the women's pecking order. We as fans can't tell if this is due to Lacey underperforming or it's down to just bad creative, but whatever it is, Triple H likes changing her. This obviously results in fans not connecting, because once we get a character, it's snatched away from us quicker than your brother steals your copy of Here Comes the Pain. It really is unfortunate for Lacey, because as weird as the position she has been in, she's always seemed to do well in these situations. Hopefully something creative settles for her in the long run. Number 3, Karrion Kross. On the 5th of August 2022, at the end of Friday Night SmackDown, Karrion Kross and partner Scarlett Bordeaux returned, inserting themselves into the middle of the Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre Uwu title feud, promising crazy things are going to happen, which, with a lot of backing of Triple H, who definitely had the hots for the former Killer Kross, should definitely come into fruition. Well, what happened to Big Karrion?
Absolutely nothing.
There was a lackluster rivalry with Drew McIntyre, which if anything showed that Kross isn't that great in the ring. This led to a clash with Rey Mysterio, who currently has an ongoing battle with his son Dominic, leaving Kross to be an afterthought. He then loses #1 contender matches to Madcap Moss. Madcap Moss? Seriously? Needless to say, the presentation is there. Kross and Scarlett together are absolutely wonderful. They look the picture and the gimmick hits, but when it comes to the ring, it kinda, well, it sucks. It shows when someone we were originally thinking could take one of the titles off Roman and be the face of one of the shows falls into an irrelevant mid-card spot in quick succession. Number 2, Alexa Bliss. Remember when Alexa Bliss was a world beater and wasn't some weird creatively over-the-top character? Remember when she was a multiple women's champion and had a few tag team championships to back that up? Remember when she wasn't a doll-loving lunatic? Yeah, I do, but what happened? When Hunter was coming into power, we saw what was looking like a story to change Alexa back to normal from the character she was playing after a certain other wrestler was released. No one really connected with spooky Alexa, apart from probably children wanting to buy the Lily doll. Triple H's creative genius looks like it has skipped past Alexa, as it seems to be that she's playing a weird character again. Don't get me wrong, she does it well. She's a wrestler you can definitely trust, but with more realistic characters being pushed in many companies, it doesn't seem to click anymore. It does look like currently there is no creative for her at all, as it seems like she's off TV again. But hopefully on the return, they can progress the story from the limbo it's in to either help her character or to build into a story with our final entrant, number 1, Bray Wyatt. What a return. What a return. Yes, what a return Bray Wyatt had after 15 months out of the company. Returning at Extreme Rules 2022 to a giant pop, Bray portrayed a more real-life version of himself over his former cult leader character, or The Fiend. We were all singing his praises for his fantastic act once again until his first match, 3 months later. Sure, you could count his house show match against LA Knight, but 3 months for a return match seems a little bit excessive. After a while, the cracks began to show and we started to see that we were getting repeats of promos over and over again, followed by the same back and forth between he, LA Knight and Uncle Howdy. This concluded with a pitch black match at the Royal Rumble, but not just any pitch black match,
A Mountain Dew pitch black match.
This mystical match resulted in blue light and a lot of neon paint and lightsabers. The match lasted 5 minutes, 3 months wait and a 5-minute basic match, where the biggest talking point was where Wyatt's bow selector loving Uncle Howdy missed a dive onto LA Knight with the gap size of Scotland. From here, we don't really know where Wyatt is going, and it almost feels like Triple H thinks the same. With the teasers of Alexa Bliss returning to his side, and a potential new Wyatt family accompanying him, maybe we could see Wyatt regain the hype around him he received when he first returned. So there's a list. What did you think? Is there anyone you feel deserved to be on the list over others? Leave a message in the comments and remember to like, hit the bell and subscribe. I'll see you soon.